break us out in number 5.
It's recording now, Tim.
Okay, well, hello everybody, and welcome to the podcast, the Drop Temp Coffee Podcast. And this is Tim with our co-host and friend. Go ahead, say it,
I'm
Keri.
Keri.
Going to take a second and thank our sponsors. I want to thank Cooley Coffee for a really cool machine that we're going to help roll out in a bit. We also want to thank Seattle Coffee Automation, and of course our primary sponsor, Primo Coffee Roasting Equipment. Love you guys. Thank you for a great machine. We also want to say thank you to Christy at Terra Negra Coffee, San Cristobal Coffee Importers as well. And we are very much looking forward to our interview today with William. William, please take a moment.
Yeah, thank you, Tim. Thank you, Keri. Yeah, I'm Bill Dinauer. I am the founder and owner of FlexPak Services, which is a company based in St. Paul, Minnesota. And we produce flexible packaging technologies using lasers. And so lasers are cool, and we're applying it to all sorts of applications in packaging. And we thank you for welcoming us to the coffee packaging world with our technology called PrimeVent.
Well, we're really excited to have you here, William. Kind of start things off. I know we were talking before the podcast started a little bit about what y'all do with coffee packaging and how you're revolutionizing that. So can you kind of walk through what the inspiration was as far as how you got started, what was the inspiration, and where you're pretty much at right now?
Perfect. Well, we're technology people. We work long hours, and that means we drink a lot of coffee. And so that's kind of a setup. It's I run 2 companies. One's a laser company called Lasix Industries, which is also in St. Paul, Minnesota. And we develop laser processing methods for all sorts of materials. And in 2004, we started to focus on flexible packaging for breathable packaging applications and easy open application using a laser. And we score the package film so you can open the package without using the scissors. And we poke very small holes in the packaging for fresh produce, perishable foods that need to breathe the oxygen out of the package. It's an amazing journey for us. And we spun off this company called FlexPak Services, started developing more packaging applications. Meanwhile, at Lasix, we're working on medical products, which is called microfluidics. And that's where we carve small microchannels in plastic, and that conducts fluids for testing of primarily blood, for diagnostic tests for illnesses and viruses and so forth. And one of our guys were sitting there and said, maybe there's some applications in packaging that we could look at. And we started looking around, and up came this coffee package that everybody was using that needed to outgas the CO2 generated from the roasting process. We started looking at it and says, man, that's a pretty crude method. It's a big valve that opens the package to the environment, outrushes all the CO2 plus all the aromatics that protect, that really give your coffee taste. And we said, man, there's probably a better way to do that. And our primary goal at the time, Keri, was that it was a big chunk of plastic. And we said, we can do this much smaller using our microfluidic technology. So we assigned one of our packaging engineers to that. And about 3 years later, we came up with a design, which is now called PrimeVent. And we have worldwide patents on that. We're the only vent technology that's available for coffee packaging. And this vent technology is based upon laser scoring small channels that separate the coffee package from the outside environment by a small air highway that's very, very tiny. You can barely see with an eye. That would conduct the CO2 gas out of the package during after packaging, but retain those large aromatic molecules within the package. They don't escape, so they stay in the package, stay on your bean, so that we coined the term protect the bean. This is a byproduct of really just reducing the amount of plastic. Our plastic is about 4% of what a button valve is. So that was kind of a sustainable play, but this performance play of retaining the aromatics, retaining your performance for a long shelf life was a byproduct. But now that's the main lead that we provide to our roaster presentations.
Wow,
that's in short the development that we took.
Wow, that's so huge. That's really, I mean, you have a lot going on. That's super amazing. Can you walk us through kind of like currently right now, we do have CO2 valves that are available in a host of different packaging. Can you kind of walk us through how that material is made and what's the effects of, well, I guess I could say, like, if you could walk us through kind of giving us an idea of what the current technology is on a lot of...
Keri, you froze.
William, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Tim. No problem.
Are you able to see me as well?
You bet. Okay.
I'm right here.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry. Let me go ahead and...
Is there a comedy of errors, y'all? Comedy of errors.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Sorry.
I'm hanging in there.
Yeah. Sorry, Zoom. I was in the middle of asking William a question.
Yeah, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. We had a frozen screen. Please.
You want to repeat that question, Keri?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So the question was, in regards to the current CO2 valves that we have today on the market, what do you see what the issues are with those valves? And if you can kind of walk us through that technology and why it's no longer, you feel that it's serving a purpose.
Correct. Well, we talked about the performance enhancements we deliver with PrimeVent, which is retaining the aromatics over the life of the coffee, which we believe can be at least 6 months. And we have data to show that. So what the valve is doing today is very rudimentary. It's basically opening up, let all the gases out of the package, which include the aromatics. And over the life of the package, you get this pulsing of gases leaving the package, which prevents the bag from blowing up. But the performance of your coffee is being reduced rapidly. We think after 8 weeks, we think it's degraded to a point where you wouldn't really want to do a coffee test with that. That's our belief. So performance is number one. Number two is just sustainable. So we only are 4% of the plastic of a typical button valve. What that translates into is after 1 million coffee bags, we're saving 1 ton of plastic. So every 1 million coffee bags, and there's billions of coffee bags being produced, billions in the U.S. market. After 1 million bags, you saved 1 ton of plastic. Related to that, we're using recyclable materials or compostable materials, if depending on your bag design. We're using recyclable materials to produce the vent. So the vent is fully recyclable as part of the supply chain. The third element, because it's so thin, it's only 0.005 of an inch thick, which is about the thickness of a label. A label, like a PrimeVent, like a label, can be rolled up. That means you can pre-apply this vent on your coffee material before running it through your pouch machine or your vertical form fill seal machine. The advantage of that is simplicity of operation. You don't have to deal with valves anymore. You got to weld the valve on or apply it on your vertical form or on your pouch machine because it's so thick you can't re-roll it on a roll. PrimeVent is so thin, it's efficient to run that through your converter to pre-apply it for you. And then when you fill your bags or make your pouches, it's already on there. So that's the 3 real strong differences between the valve and PrimeVent.
I do have a question for you, William. Are you able to still get a sense of the aromatics of the coffee through the valve?
You will get a slight odor coming out, an odor in a good way, coming out from the bag while it's cooling off. But it will be very slight. And the reason is that we're the job of the vent is to protect the bean and protect the bag from blowing up from the CO2 gas. So we let the CO2 out, which is a very small molecule. The large aromatics retain in the bag. There's a slight amount, so you'll get a slight smell of the aromatics, but not a lot, Tim. I have to tell you that.
Okay, all right. No, that's fair. As long as the coffee tastes amazing coming out, we couldn't be happier. I'm so excited about the technology and just the pure cutting of the use of plastics. I think that's remarkable, William. Honestly,
Thank you.
There,
Yeah, you were off air. You were off air, Tim. But that was the primary reason that the engineers at FlexPak looked at this at the beginning. It says we can do this with a very small product based upon some of our medical technology. We innovated that over 3 years into the PrimeVent that you see today. But that was the original intent, was just to reduce the plastic, which we achieved. This performance really came about from our testing after we built the PrimeVent prototypes.
that is remarkable.
Thank you.
Looking through some of the data out there, honestly, I think it's a pretty major change. The Lord knows that I see this potentially saving money on packaging for most coffee roasters. I see this in making the performance and the shelf life is increased dramatically for us, which of course is going to save us on all sorts of other associated costs like roasting more coffee. Quite frankly, cutting down waste is one of the things that we strive for at my roastery. I couldn't be more excited about this.
Right.
Keri, do you mind if I jump in?
Tim,
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, Tim, I was just going to add the PrimeVent, which is recycle ready, allows you to start designing packages that are more recyclable and reduce plastic. I wouldn't advise you just trying to go to recyclable right at the beginning until the film is ready and it's the right price. But really quickly, you can take out about 60% of the plastic that's in the coffee package and retain your performance. So no compromise on your protecting your bean.
No, that honestly, for us, in my world, we don't do a lot of tasting of our coffee. We specifically are trying to not do sampling just because of the associated risks that might come along with that. And we spend a lot of time outdoors talking to people about this. My company likes going farmers markets. I see this as being a very helpful, very helpful.
So, Tim, we do have some designs that we could talk later about. We have a peel reseal technology that allows you to open the package in a very small area. You could take a sniff and then close it back up. I'm not saying that my preferred method to protect the bean, but we have some new packaging ideas that we could help you with.
I absolutely.
Again, we're talking about coffee packaging, you bet. And we're talking about coffee packaging. It's been pretty static for a long time. They're still using that heavy wire that's glued onto the package to reseal it. You got all that head space with the film on the top of the package. You can eliminate all that stuff by redesigning your package. But I just want to emphasize, PrimeVent gives you an X factor in your protecting your bean immediately. So we can immediately use it on your existing package. You don't have to redesign it.
That's fantastic. Honestly, it's fantastic. By the way, yes, conversation offline. We'll contact, find a little more detail about that. Personally, I'd love to get this involved and get involved immediately. It certainly would help. I'm sorry to jump in like that. Honestly, I've been looking forward to this interview for a couple of weeks. You were talking about the technology that has come about over the last 3 years. You talked a little bit about the history of that. We talked to us about the thinness of this and some restrictive sizes for molecules. I mean, working that nano size of release, that's, again, remarkable to me. Is that something that you have to do under a microscope?
No. This is all, these vents are built in line on a high-speed machine that's using a laser to carve these microchannels into this recyclable plastic. and then we laminate it into a very thin structure that looks like a round patch that is would be considered a label. There's a food grade adhesive that's used to apply it to your film that's compatible with all the packages. And that's all built on a roll-fed production line. So we end up with a reel of vents, 10,000 vents that's on a reel about 8 inches in diameter. And that's sent to the converter to pre-apply on your film.
Okay, so that is the equivalent of subdermal that's going under the outside packaging and above or on top of the film packaging inside the packet.
You're correct, Tim. You're correct.
Right.
You're correct. So we don't go inside the package at all.
That's crazy. That's technology, y'all.
And so so we have videos showing the vent being applied on a roll that's pre-applied on a vertical form fill seal. And perhaps you don't have the volume for that type of production, but when you go on a vertical form and you start welding valves, the production rate goes down. It's got quality problems. Pre-applied vents change the game for high-speed vertical form seal as well, Tim.
That's fantastic. You mentioned pricing on this starting now and decreasing over time. Am I correct in assuming that?
Correct. But we're very competitive with today's method of pricing coffee bags with vents. It'll only get better. And the hidden costs of quality and operational efficiency will be realized. That'll even give you a higher return on investment.
I do have a question for you, William. So
You bet, Keri.
Yeah. So I had a question for you, William. We were talking offline about you are making some moves in Australia, and you were seeing some positive results in the Australian market. And we know that in Australia, they absolutely love their coffee. I don't know how much you can tell us, but can you kind of swap us through and how the with the valves and how that's going in the Australian market?
Yeah. So after the three years, we said, well, let's go test the market, and we said, well, the U.S. is so large that we wouldn't know where to start. But then you have this country of about 25 million people in called Australia. That's just crazy about coffee. I was down there a couple of times. We sell lasers down in Australia for other production needs. And I'm traveling around, and I meet this coffee packaging owner, and Julian created this company called Roastars.au, which is Australia, around building a better coffee package. And he was focused on recyclable packaging because Australia is trying to move away from purchasing packaging that has a low recycle content, which is mostly comes from Asia, and they want to build it within Australia. They were very motivated, and they were looking for a better way to vent their gases out of their coffee packages. And he approached me about partnering with him, and hired this brilliant guy, Clive Jacobs, to run the business. And they started launching it into the Australian market with roasters about the same as you, really into the technology, into the passion. And everyone said, hands down, we're moving to this package. Meaning they didn't really have to change the package. It's basically putting PrimeVent on that package to gain the performance. So we're winning awards down there. We're participating in the Golden Bean events down there. We're not directly participating. That Clive Edwards is the face, and in fact has got a podcast out on that. We have a couple of testimonials that Clive is willing to provide, and he's wide open for any roaster to contact him directly to talk about that.
Maybe we could share that address at some point so other roasters could get involved or find a little more about that. We'd love that opportunity. Keri, can we add that link during the editing portion of this?
Yeah, it's Roastar, ROASTAR.au. Now you have to remember, you have to put that accurately, guys, because there's a roaster in the U.S. that sells coffee bags. I don't know if you guys know that. So we got to make sure it says roaster.au.
No, we know those guys. At this point, neither Keri and I are using them, so we are aware there being a big difference there. No
Yeah.
worries. No worries.
I harassed Julian. I harassed Julian. His last name is Morton. A little bit about creating a company with the same name, but I'm past it.
Yeah, we are not going to talk about anything that has to do with copyright infringement. That's not our job
Yeah.
at all. So no
Yeah.
worries. No worries at all.
All right, that's cool. That's
Well,
cool.
So we generally have been talking to professionals inside the coffee industry. I would have to say that you are on the outskirts of that industry because the production level that you're doing is a little different than what we usually interview. As a matter of fact, you might be the furthest outside the box interview that the Keri and I have had. So I think a couple of the standard questions we've come up with interviewers, with people being interviewed on our show, having things about the coffee they're roasting. My question to you, sir, is what coffee are you drinking?
You know, I am mainly a decaf guy at this point in my life. So I enjoy any great smelling decaf. I love the heavy taste. I love the strong flavor. But at this point, if I shift to a caffeinated brand, it does not do well for me. So I am all over the map. But we have 3 local roasters in my town of White Bear Lake, and I go to Cajita Coffee, which is a Mexican coffee place that roasts their own coffee, and then I go to Granite Coffee.
Nice. We shout out to Granite. Please pronounce both of those for me again. Did you say Cajita? Did I hear that right?
Cajita, Cajeta,
Cajita.
and Granite, like the stone.
All
Yeah.
right. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Shout
And
out you
there's
guys.
there's a thank you.
Yeah. By the way, we don't offend decaf here, but Keri and I both have a very high expectation of our decaf. What do you think, Keri? How do you feel about that?
I would have to say yes. Because decaf can be boring, and we're looking for something that folks are missing when it comes to decaf, and we want to make decaf fun and exciting.
Well, here's your client right here.
Oh.
Test mark me.
All right.
That's
another
to
one
give you a
that's
little
on-
sidebar.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's exactly
No,
what we're going to do.
Yeah, I'm your candidate. Just a sidebar. I fly Delta Airlines a lot, and they have a partnership with Starbucks. And so if I'm on the plane, I order a decaf coffee. So they roll out the single packets that Starbucks made. It's a freeze dried decaf.
Yeah, we know.
I love it. I like it. I like it.
Seriously.
So
Seriously.
it's got a lot of strength to it. And so I just like it. It slows me down. I don't drink it like pop. Then I just kind of sip on it a little bit. But
Yeah.
anyway,
I'll tell you what.
that-
We're gonna send you out a sample here. So
Help me.
offline when we get a chance, I think Keri and I might actually show off a little bit with what we're doing over in Oregon these days. Can I ask you a couple of
Great.
questions about Golden Bean sponsorship?
Sure.
Would that be okay? So we understand
Sure.
you're the primary sponsor for Golden Bean this year. Personally, I've been involved with Golden Bean every year they've been in North America, and I'm very lucky to have won a number of medals through those, as has my partner in crime, Keri. And we're
Okay.
excited to see you in there.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Pleasantly surprised to see you in there as a new sponsor. Have you been to any of these events in the past? You said that you worked with them in Australia. Is that correct?
Yep. There's a Golden Bean event in Australia, and that show is again this fall, and will be at Clive Edwards, and Roastar.au will be attending that. We're obviously sponsoring the U.S. version, which I believe is it in Dallas this year, guys? I can't quite
It
remember
is
where.
Houston.
Okay.
It is in Houston.
Oh,
I
Houston.
think
Thank you.
Yeah,
Houston.
November 17th through the 21st. Not that we know
Yep.
anything about that.
Yep. And so we are. So we're busily making 6,000 or 10,000 bags to send to you guys for testing. So each of you is
Oh,
going to, in the mail, going to receive,
nice,
I think, six bags for you can do your own coffee testing with it. And we'd highly
nice.
recommend do a side by side with your valve package. And so this is a generic metallized coffee bag. I think it's set for 12 ounces, I believe. And it's there for you to test. So we're going to be sending those out before the show.
Well, be happy to give you feedback on that. And I know
Great.
Keri and I will both be doing that. Very excited about that. Thank you.
And by the way, we contend that you can package the coffee immediately after roasting. You don't have to let it sit and cool down.
Okay, nice benefit. Although we know that we have a number of roasters out there that might argue with that, because that's one of those behind the scenes things that that we have a lot of discussion about.
You know, my job as technology to give you guys options, and then you guys figure out your recipe is your recipe. So I think we can just help sustain that recipe for a longer period of time too.
No, sounds good. Sounds good. Keri, I feel like I stepped all over you. I don't know what you asked in the first place. I'm so embarrassed. I apologize. I got knocked offline. Please take the baton, run.
I think the only thing you missed, Tim, is you missed I did like a 5-minute history of how we developed PrimeVent. And that was the main thing. That was the only thing you missed. But I don't know how are you guys gonna splice this all together into something that okay.
Yeah,
got it.
We have an editor slash director who's going to be able to put this together for us in the long term. So we're certainly looking forward to that.
Cool.
Do you travel much within the U.S., and are you planning to come out to Oregon so we can actually meet you in person at some point in the near future?
I'd love to. Obviously, I was at the SCA show, just walking that show 2 years ago. And Portland's one of my favorite spots. That's where I went to your one of the last Bob Seger concerts at your I can't remember the concert venue downtown. And
Rose Garden.
Thank you.
Yep.
Always enjoy coming to Portland. Always enjoyed coming to Portland.
Feel free to come out to the west side and visit us for a cup of coffee when you get out here. We'd love to have you.
You got it. Decaf.
Right. Yeah, don't worry. No, we carry it all the time. We make it a point. You're not the only person out there that needs kneecaps. No worries at all.
That's
Go ahead,
cool.
Keri. I'm over talking it again. I'm good at that. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And that's we can. I feel like we comment so much. We really talked about the technology and the what the current valves, what their purpose is doing and what they're not doing anymore, right? And so we talked about that a little bit, and gosh, I feel like
we nailed it.
I feel like we did, honestly, William. I think we did, because it's like I know we talked briefly about like folks putting their coffee in the freezer and the fridge, and all three of us unanimously agree that is a horrible and terrible idea. But yeah, I nothing that I feel like we nailed it. I feel like we did.
We're just at the start of helping you guys out, and I think having some follow up maybe on some technical data. We have some new bag designs, like I was talking about, to eliminate all that headspace and all that kind of stuff. There'll be other opportunities we'll be happy to talk to you about. But I think the PrimeVent, I just want to spread the word as soon as I can. And so I really appreciate you guys letting everybody know. And we want to work with small roasters. So one question you could ask is how can you buy it today as a small roaster?
Consider the question asked. How do we buy it today?
Yeah. There are a number of converters that are coming on board in the U.S. that will start offering this. Most of those converters are tackling some larger accounts because of the volume. For the small roasters, we are offering the bags being sold from St. Paul, Minnesota right now. I mean, you can order the bags from FlexPak with the vent pre-applied, with your logo printed, basically replace your current supply chain if you wish to do that. We are happy to sell you the vents in a reel and you've hand applying, but we could supply you the whole bag if you wish.
We
That
should
means we
definitely
supply the film.
Yeah.
So for the small roasters, we are offering that service that would be made in St. Paul. We think very, very competitive with your current supply chain. And we would welcome taking a call right at FlexPak to quote those bags for you.
Why don't you go ahead and give a free plug right now to where people can get a hold of you?
You bet. So go to our website, www.flexpakservices.com. That's FLEXPAK services, SERVICES.com. And on there is PrimeVent website to contact us.
Excellent.
That's
Excellent.
probably the best way. There's a contact sheet on there to connect. Of course,
Okay.
they're welcome. You guys are welcome to contact me directly. And I know a lot of the roasters work on a referral, and you guys partner together. Just forward my email address on to anybody, Tim.
Yeah, we'll do. How about social media reachings? Can we find you on socials?
Yeah, we're on Instagram. We just started our Instagram account called PrimeVent, and we have a LinkedIn account called PrimeVent.
Okay, well
And
done.
I do not have those exact links in my head. So if you don't mind, I could forward those to you via email.
Yeah, we'll make sure to get those in the comments area so people can click right on
Okay.
them. We have a lot of people
Okay.
that get involved with Instagram here. A lot of people get involved with Instagram here, so that would make a lot of sense for sure.
Yeah. So Tim, Golden Bean will be publishing a lot of stuff through Instagram, and you'll see a lot of this pick up in the next couple of weeks.
I wish Sean would call me occasionally. Jesus.
Sean's got an incredible bandwidth, but I don't know how he does it because he's working 3 continents and traveling around. And
I know.
He so much appreciates you guys getting in the game with him, though. You guys are very, very valuable for him. So he thanks you.
Sean and Christine are both very special people. And personally, Christine's given me some great advice previously that I'm not going to share here because just because. But for the record, they're great people. We knew when we were being referred to you. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm very excited to be talking to you as a sponsor there. As a contest, Golden Bean has helped me not only get better as a roaster, but meet a number of people in the industry that I would not have had the opportunity to. So we're certainly glad to have you aboard.
Yeah, will both of you be at Houston then, or?
We're trying to work that out. I've got a staff of 6. It's going to be a hard pull to get out there. I missed Columbus 2 years in a row. It'd be nice to get back out there and see people again.
Okay. Well,
yeah. Do you have any questions for us?
No, I just think we want to collaborate with the small roasters. That's why I really wanted to emphasize that you can order PrimeVent immediately from us in low quantities. And I don't know what your annual bag need is and how you do your packaging, but we're happy to work with you. We got a design staff. I think the best place for us to is work with people seeking performance.
Well, I'll tell you what, I am really tired of having to go offshore to get my bags because I'm in that situation, and that was a matter of economics for us, So if we can get anything done here, done in the U.S., well, we're very excited to have that happen.
Give us a shot, Tim, and we'll do the best we can on a quotation to you. And what we're very open because we know PrimeVent can be carried on any package. We just don't have the full distribution established. So why not just go direct to you to help you out right away?
No, absolutely love to do that. Like I said, we'll take that offline as well. Well, have we reached it? Are we at that point yet?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm ready for my I'm ready for my cocktail.
Well, for those of us who do not imbibe, I think I'm ready for my decaf. I'm just saying. Well, if I may, I want to say a gigantic thank you to Sean Edwards for introducing us, first of all. Would also like to say thank you to our sponsors and Primo Coffee Roasting Equipment. Love those guys. Thank you very much, Christian. Thank you very much, Brandon. We also want to say thank you to Kool-Aid Coffee, Seattle Coffee Automation. Want to say thank you to San Cristobal Coffee Importers. Want to say thank you to Terra Negra Coffee Importers. And William, we especially want to say thank you to you for making the time for us. We appreciate that.
No problem, Tim. Nice to meet you both, Tim and Keri. I look forward to hearing our voices on the podcast.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank
We'll have
you
one
again,
later.
William.
Yep.
Thank you, William, so much. We really appreciate you having coming on to the Drop Temp Coffee Podcast.
Yep. Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you.
William, take care. Have a great day. Cheers.
Cheers. I will follow up with an email with those web links, so you got all that.
Perfect.
And feel free to. If you want to do like a reboot on one section, let me know.
So
All right,
good.
we'll do.
So
No worries.
don't log off quite yet.
Okay.
Yeah, because we just got to make sure that the episode's uploaded into the cloud. So don't log off yet. So hang on one second. I'm going to end the recording here.